something that people can handle. Hell, the child stars of
Oh no. Oh no, these are not the same people, bruh. These are not the same people, bruh. I refuse to believe. What is this? What's the time? If you know, type it down in the comments. What's the time difference between this person on the right and this person on the left? How many years went between these? Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's the boy 10, and today we're checking out Omizi. The streaming bubble finally burst. Streaming bubble. Yeah, let's find out what he talking about. Know what I'm saying?
Pulling in my life. I've never seen so much fake competition in my life, bro. Like, and that's what realistically ruined this shit.
Like a month ago and a month and a half ago, I stopped IRL streaming as much, and I know a lot of y'all have noticed that. I haven't had much energy in my streams necessarily, and I kind of just kept streaming because I just wanted to, I never wanted to take a break. And then not to mention, I'm not gonna lie, I feel burnt out.
I've seen Ron go from loving streaming so much to his passion slowly going away.
Bro, I just don't know what to do with this shit anymore, bro. This shit just don't feel the same, bro. What do I do, bro? I'm so lost. Chat, I'm gonna see y'all later, bro. I gotta take some time to myself.
Are you okay, man?
Nah, bro, come on, bro. I'm chilling. I'm just listening to y'all convo. But I dare dude gotta leave. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta do shit with Davo, so I'm gonna hit y'all later, alright?
Alright, bro.
Alright.
Alright,
Views is down. Elephant in the room. Everybody, you can't pull up a nigga right now and his shit ain't cranking like it was last month, nigga. It is what the fuck it is, nigga.
It's kind of crazy how I can't even control shit on my own fucking stream. I can't control nothing.
Coming into 2025, everyone and their mama thought that streaming was the way to go. It was the means to create content to a wider audience, farm money, and do honestly some of the dopest things in the world. Celebrities were getting into it, athletes were getting into it, politicians were getting into it, and it just seemed like streaming would be a staple for years to come. But then something happened. When everyone flocked to this medium of creating content, it started to create a bubble, and eventually that bubble would have to burst. And to be honest with you, I think that we are there. And with
Of course we're there. Of course we're there. You see, the big players in the game, they made it look like easy. They made it look effortless, and they were making so much money because the first people to do it usually do, they become the 1%, and everybody else that follows just kind of like tails behind them. Not it's not the case everywhere. There are some people that do get to enter that 1% from, but for the most part, every other person that joins the bandwagon later are kind of like, in the mid to average places. Only the people who really blew up with it stay in that 1%, right? The Kai Cenats, the Dukes, the XQCs of the world, yeah. But the thing is, you have to love it, bruh. Like, that's what people. A lot of the people that are going into streaming are going into it now because it's popular, because it's popping, because that's where the money is, right? At least that's where it looks like the money is, right? But you forget that these people have been doing this shit for a long time. They've been doing it they're used to this. This is their life, Kai makes it look easy, but this is literally a job for him. Imagine being on camera 24/7, bro. You're so hyper conscious, hyper aware of every single thing you say, knowing that any single thing will get clipped and put. It's a lot of pressure, and he handles it well, which is why, of course, he is as successful as he is, because he knows he has built the type of resilience to do that. But even people like Duke hasn't streamed in like how many months now? It goes to show you something. Like, you really need to be built different, to keep doing this type of things. And yeah, let's just get right into the video. I don't want to bore you guys with my takes.
that bursting reveals the unintended consequences of streaming being this gold mine type rush. There's been a view epidemic, streams are getting crazy expensive and out of control, people can't have private lives anymore, and ultimately, being on live 24/7 is not something that people can handle. Hell, the child stars of past have shown us that before.
Hello. Hey,
It's not
yo.
something that people can handle. Hell, the child stars of
Oh no. Oh no, these are not the same people, bruh. These are not the same people, bruh. I refuse to believe. What is this? What's the time? If you know, type it down in the comments. What's the time difference between this person on the right and this person on the left? How many years went between these? Nah, that's crazy.
Past have shown us that before. I'm here to talk about the state of streaming in 2025 and going forward. And to be honest with you, it's not looking good. In 2024, we saw a boom in the streaming economy. We saw the rise of the FaZe Clan. We saw the rise of different members of AMP. Mafiathon 2 went off without a hitch. The FaZe Subathon went off without a hitch. And everyone and their mother flocked to streaming, which meant that the only next logical step going into 2025 was to stream more, right? But we quickly found out that that is not something that is sustainable for the whole ecosystem, for the whole environment. It can't handle everybody flocking to streaming for a plethora of different reasons. I think the first thing that had a lot of people skewed as to the realities of what streaming can and can't be is Streamer University. It happened earlier this year and people thought that it was a great idea. And to be honest with you, it was. It introduced a whole different subsection of streamers to the information pool that we all can look at and consume. But it definitely had some unintended consequences. It made everyone feel like they had to spend a shit ton of money in order to get their streams off. And streamers found out quick, fast, in a hurry the first problem with this mass streaming movement is that streaming is an expensive venture.
The Love Show. This is something that I'm spending a lot of money. Like I'm contemplating selling a watch in order to invest in this. Like this is the most expensive shit I ever paid for. Nigga, I'm spending.
I think what people don't realize is, and it's not their fault. It's just the big players got into a situation where they would spend more because they were making more, and so the levels that they get to is so extraordinarily out of here that the average streamer can't even dream of it, and they think they have to do something close to even begin to touch the kind of numbers that they touch. But you remember that people started from somewhere. Everybody started from somewhere. Everybody, even Kai, I remember he was doing the 2-mans with Speed at the time. Of course, he was already big by that time, but he was still doing like normal shit, before he started doing the whole $3 million car collection and things. They were still doing like the normal stuff. They were still doing the 2-mans. They were still doing the just a lot of casual, normal things that everybody else can do. I think if you're streaming, you need to understand that, first of all, the game is saturated right now. So you have to have a unique spin. If you're trying to do it like they're doing it, you're going to burn out, you're going to go broke, and you're going to fall off because you can't. They are playing on a whole different level, a whole different league, That's like someone from the Premiership League or the Saudi Arabian League just taking off and playing for the Premier League in one day. It's like, it's a whole different ball game, bruh. Come with your own unique spin. Do something fresh to you. Your growth might be slow. It might not have the same exposure, but that's just how it goes, man. When people do something first, you can't help but just try to find your way because everybody else has done it. So it's like people are trying to copy the big players because that's what they think streaming should be, but not necessarily. You can cultivate your own audience doing something that only you is able to do,
A house on what I'm doing. You feel me?
Y'all know how expensive it is to keep up with content creation? You can get a 10K check from Twitch. What the fuck is a 10K check when you gotta spend 5K on trips to travel, $500 on setup shit, $2,000 on your rent, $200 on Wi-Fi, $200 on IRL toolkit. You gotta pay the clippers, pay a YouTube editor. Chat, I don't think y'all realizing I be going into negative.
I think what a lot of people saw from people like Kai Cenat or any of the people from FaZe is that spending money for streaming, putting money back into your content is seemingly a worthwhile investment. And I think what a lot of people underestimated is the fact that they have a lot of equity built into the content creation game, where then when they do these ventures, they can see the return, they see the benefits, and they are reaping the rewards of it. They have sat there at their computers and desks and built sweat equity with a community that is willing to support them no matter if they spend money or don't spend money. So it makes sense for them to go out and buy the Samsung phones all the way up to the $30,000 backpacks. It makes sense for them to invest in a trip into Six Flags, their local theme park, or go across the country to Japan. But a lot of the new streamers hopped into this lane and it didn't ultimately pop off because they put money into it without building up that community.
They haven't built a core fan base. That's basically what I was trying to say. Like, you cannot just jump in and try to do it like they do it, because you cannot do it better than doing it. You know, you can't out Kai. You can't out Duke. You know, you can't out Agent. These are people who have built a foundation of people who love them, for what they do. You need to build that same audience, and it's going to be tough because now everybody is in on it. Now everybody's competing with you. They got to do it when not a lot of people were on it right now. So it's harder now, but it's something you can still do. Just understand it might take time, but do it. Just keep doing it. You will build your own fan base. It might not be as large, or it could be, you know. You can't really tell with the internet, but just do it the way you can, in the way you can afford to, and just keep doing that, man. Eventually something, if it's meant for you, if you truly love what you do, it's gonna play out in some way or the other, you know. I don't think Duke ever realized that when he was still playing 2K in the YouTube community, he would turn to this Chad that every girl is looking for. Like, you can never really tell with the internet how you're gonna show up to people. You have an intention, but how they get to perceive you, you can never tell. So it's never really in your control. You know, just do what you can and afford to, and then just go with that, man.
Community aspect. There's a lot of big streams that went off this year that did not go as planned, as told by leaders of the community or just what we see. Hell, what happened to a lot of the streamers from Streamer U, Streamer Prom, the Are You My Ball show, or that other love show that Blackboy Max and them put on? And even if you ask DDG what his thoughts on what the outcome of the love show might be, it didn't go so well. It didn't do what he thought it would do.
Every dollar I made this month plus more is going into that motherfucker. And it's only a week long. If I don't average like 40, 50, I think finale I might touch a Hun Diddy or like a 150 piece. Now I did think I would have touched $100,000.
Just because you spend money.
The thing with DDG show is that he let a woman ruin it. He let India ruin it. I'm sorry. She ruined it. And if you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. I don't have to go into it. But that's the thing, man. I say, dude, bruh. I say, dude, you have to know when something is a distraction and treat it as a distraction. You know, that's not to say don't invest energy into the distraction, but know it's a distraction. You know what I'm trying to say? You get what I'm trying to say? You know, even for women, it's the same thing. Like, when you know a man is a distraction, a woman is a distraction, treat them as distractions. Give them your time and attention and energy, but not at the cost of the things you really need to build, the things you're really trying to achieve, you know, because at the end of the day, they are distractions. So pay attention to the distraction, give it your energy, but when you can afford to, when you can decide, okay, I have this sorted out, let me just go hang out with the girl a little bit, have her feel loved, hang out with the dude, don't let him feel like, oh, I'm cheating on him or something, you know, and then get right back to your purpose, the thing you want to do. But when you let distractions work by being distractions, then you see, he could have put India aside. It doesn't matter what you guys had going on in real life. You were having a game show and it was supposed to be entertainment for the audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right.
It doesn't mean that you're inherently going to get into the views, which brings me to the next issue. Viewbotting got out of hand in 2025. Now, for those of you who don't know what viewbotting is, it's when people, whoever the entity is, pays for bots to inflate numbers on a person's channel. It could be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, but for this specific purpose, we're talking about Twitch. And as XQC and Twitch exposed, there have been a lot of people who have been viewbotting on this platform. This only got sniffed out after Twitch dropped its viewbot crackdown, and honestly, it worked better than a lot of people anticipated. Viewership on Twitch is down wholeheartedly.
Apparently, the overall viewership on Twitch went down as much as 24% compared to last week, with many big streamers suddenly losing thousands of viewers. Not just big streamers, streamers of all shapes and sizes lost tons and tons of viewers, like across the board.
Now, in hindsight, it does make a lot of sense. There was times last year where there were platforms like Kick, Rumble, and Twitch where viewership was 100,000 viewers for like 6 to 7 to 8 streamers on every single platform at any given time. And to be honest with you, that was just to inflate things so people could get their advertising dollars and create this bubble that we're in now. And at some point, somebody was gonna have to sniff it out. I mean, it was literally not making any sense. And I do want to offer another POV in the conversation though, because I don't think it's all bots.
Everybody on this bitch, views is down. Elephant in the room. Everybody. You can't pull up a nigga right now and his shit ain't cranking like it was last month, nigga. It is what the fuck it is, nigga.
Niggas are paying for me not to have viewers. I never had 250 viewers before, not even starting Twitch. Even when I wasn't even a Twitcher and I started, I never even had this many viewers.
While there are things like Mafiathon or other big streaming events that can occupy, you know, some of that cross-audience viewership over the course of the year, I think that there's a level of viewer fatigue that is not being talked about. And that just simply means that viewers are tired of watching the same things over and over again.
I was just about to say, because it was like deja vu. I saw Kai in a car with Snoop Dogg and Wiz, and I'm like, this before. You know, I didn't realize that, okay, he was doing it again. But it was like, wait, hold on. It's like a deja vu moment. Haven't you guys done this before? You know, and to be honest, there's only so much you can do before you start to repeat things. That's no shade on Kai. He's doing his thing. Love the dude, man. I'm a big fan. But at some point, it's like, okay, you've done all these crazy things. How are you going to keep topping this? How are you going to keep topping the things that you're already doing for as long as you want to continue this streaming thing? Like, how is this sustainable? Like the heights you keep, you know? Streamer University was massive. How are you going to top Streamer University? You're going to do it again and again and again? Or the Mafiathon? Like, how many people are you going to invite? How many people are you going to invite until you start having repeated guests, you know? So it's like, you know, eventually people are going to be like, all right, we've seen this before. Or even if it's something new, it's probably repackaged as, you know, it's an old thing repackaged as something new. I saw Ice Spice again on Kai Cenat stream, and I'm like, all right, we've seen this before, you know? It's like, okay, like, viewers are going to be like, what's next? And you can't satisfy a viewer. Because the brain, it can never be satisfied. It's just built to keep adapting, bruh.
Same streams with the girls, the same IRL streams where nothing is really happening, the same streams where nobody's really being creative. To be honest with you, Twitch has a copycat problem right now and nobody's talking about it.
I think streaming right now, I don't want to say nothing because everything, like, I feel like it's so much shit going on that it almost feel like nothing going on in a weird way. I don't know how to explain it, bro. I have a bad way with certain things. I just know, like, it's the feeling that I'm trying to portray. Everybody trying to do everything, and I'm not trying to be like nobody. I'm trying to make sure I be like myself.
And it's not to the point of like, hey, everybody's doing the same reaction.
Real. Just be yourself, bro. Because if you're trying to be like everybody else, now you're competing with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But if you're being yourself, only one in your lane, and if you hit the jackpot and find an audience that love you for being yourself, suddenly you're in the 1%. If that number of people are massive, of course. But even if they are okay, you have a quality number of viewers, now you have viewers you can call your own who are loyal and who will stick with you. Yeah, what's up? Yeah. And who will stick with you regardless of what you do. And so now you have this steady stream of viewers you can call your own, as opposed to competing, because the day you're not on, the day you're not doing the best you can in their lane, they're going to leave and go watch them instead. You know what I'm saying? But nobody can find you anywhere else. That's why even Kai could sit down one day and just be chatting with his stream, and he's still going to average 200K. Just because nobody can do Kai better than Kai can, you know? So
action content and the same reactions, playing the same games. I think that has always existed. But literally everybody is doing the big Tokyo trip, or everybody's doing some rendition of a love show, or bringing some sort of girl on, or whatever the case may be, and having the same exact reactions as everyone else. Nobody's doing anything new. Nobody's doing anything unique with any new emotions or uniqueness behind it. They're having the same exact reactions and it's just the same. It's literally just the same exact stuff over and over and over again. Another big issue that I have with streaming now is because of this always on nature, you don't even have time to yourself in order to handle personal effects or not live moments on the internet. I've talked about it in my Plaqueboy Max video. It's tough that these kids are growing up in real time in front of cameras because some of this stuff is not for public consumption. I've seen issues and incidences this year in 2025 where I thought to myself, hey, it'd probably be best if you just cut the camera off.
Some family, tragedies and shit. Just shit like when my mama live out, somebody passed, I ain't gonna say who and shit, but
Stop. That's crazy that you can't even be off the camera to even cry, bro. You can't even take off the camera for a few hours or a day to just cry and be a human being. It has come to the point where you're so invested in this shit that you have to cry on stream. Bruh. Hey man, I do eventually want to get into streaming, but bro, I'm gonna do it my way. When I build an audience, I'm gonna do what I want to do when I want to do it. Like, bro, it's not worth it. Like, you gain the whole world for what? You're struggling to get all these bags. At what cost? Is it worth it at the end of the day?
Just chill. I got my elbow up. Now we gotta clip this. Go take that bullshit off.
This is short.
Go take it off.
No.
No, Jamie.
No, you're not gonna fuck up my outfit.
Go take that shit off.
No.
Then you're not coming. You're not wearing that shit with a rip on your booty cheek.
That's how it came.
Well, you're not wearing that with me. And don't try to masturbate me on camera. Either you take it off or you get the fuck out of my house. That's how I'm moving. Who the fuck do you think you are? What, a rip on your booty cheek? Nigga, that's some shit you wear when you single. You don't wear that around me, man.
Just a couple weeks ago, Quinn Blackwell made a comment about streaming being digital slavery. And while I don't agree,
Low-key, that guy needs to leave that babe alone. She broke a lamp over your head. That's not who you want as a wife, bro. That's not who. And I do understand some people date for fun, but even for fun, that girl could kill you, bro. She could kill you. She broke a lamp over your head. Nah, she could send a knife through your throat while you sleep. There ain't no difference between those two people anymore, bro. Once a woman can do that, I don't even appreciate when women beat their men, but if she broke a lamp over your head, nah, she be out of there, bruh. Like, the minute I'd be like, pack your shit.
with the verbiage, because slavery has meaning and connotation, there were some things that a lot of people took from that actually had some value to it.
I have always said the biggest influencer will be somebody who gives their life to the internet. And that's what streaming is. And I respect it down. I think they are the Don Julios of internet creators. Would I ever do it again? No. Because it gives a sort of digital slavery vibe to me.
Streaming in 2025 is now
Low-key, what she said was true. The biggest internet personality will be the one who can basically give up his life for streaming, Just think about that. Kai has a girl, he has a mom, he has sisters, but for the whole entirety of this marathon, he's like online constantly. He can't talk to any of them besides maybe the text he sends once in a while. He's like so driven to do this. But for him, it's love. Like he has said it before, like he genuinely loves it. And so while on the outside it looks like, bro, this guy is giving his life to this thing, he finds fulfillment in doing it. These other streamers don't. They're in this because of the money. They're in this because of the bag. They're in this because they think this is what's going to elevate them out of whatever situation they find themselves in. And that's why they are burning out. That's why they can't handle the pressure. That's why they don't know what to do, because it's not the same for him as it is for them, which is why Kai is where he is. And that's why they are where they are. You know what I'm trying to say?
Now, this thing where you have to be online all the time at the mercy of your chat, your emotions and your feelings don't matter. It's just go, 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 go. We don't even realize that these people have been living their entire lives in front of a camera and they don't have a time to get an emotional break. Now, I know what somebody's going to say in the comment section is that, hey, this is self-inflicted. This is something that they brought upon themselves. For sure. I can honestly say that. They can start to do different things or whatever the case may be, and they're making a lot of money, whatever the case may be. Listen, I'm coming from a human aspect. It's not healthy to be on camera 24/7 like this. And this is why you're seeing a lot of people have these mental breakdowns when it comes to streaming now.
I've streamed 200 plus hours every single month. I just did a 4-day marathon and then streamed 13 hours a day with 0 breaks.
Guys, I am a loser. I don't do shit except sit on my couch and study shit and plan shit in my free time. I don't talk to people. It's bad. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I came home, bro. I just cried on my couch, bro. Like, I cried on my couch. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I don't even have nobody, bro. Who do I?
You know, that's crazy. And you can look behind him and see, like, man, this guy's doing good. Like, look at all his clothes, look at his place, look at his apartment. Like, you know, you think, oh, he's having a great, you know, for the few times that he's off camera. But look at him trying to tell you now that he's a loser, bro. Things on the outside are not necessarily what's going on the inside. You know, it's like not all that glitters is gold. And while, of course, he might have the money, he might have the resources, he's not even having time to even spend them. He's not even having time to enjoy the resources. He's just working. And now you can say, oh, this is way better than at least a 9-to-5 job. These niggas stream on the weekends too, man. And they're online. They have thousands of people at every given moment. Like, I understand when people say, don't complain, you know, blah, 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 whatever. I get it. But it doesn't still change the fact that difficulties arise in whatever thing that you are doing. Maybe you make more money in this particular job. You're also sacrificing something with this particular job, you know? You get famous, you get all the blah, blah, blah. You're sacrificing anonymity. You're sacrificing privacy. Like, there's always a sacrifice to be made. In your 9-to-5, you're giving your energy, you're sacrificing your energy, but you're also sacrificing your time. You know, there's always a sacrifice. So I don't like when people say, oh, don't complain, blah, blah, blah. What? I'm a human being too. I have a right to tell you where I don't feel right in the things I'm doing, you know? But people just don't want to see it that way. They just feel like, oh, you're popular, you're making money, you shouldn't have anything to complain about, you're good. It's very idiotic to me.
I push everybody in my life away. I don't talk to my parents. I'm out here in LA, like, yeah, I got my cousin, but it's like, damn, bro, like, what am I even doing this for?
Naturally, you're going to be burned out. I mean, we're always on camera 24/7 and at the mercy of our chats. I didn't even talk about this in this video, but it dawned across me as I was doing research. I remember that time where like Senna, Valkyrae, and Extra Emily got harassed at the park by the dude. And then for whatever reason, they had to come on stream the next day to explain what happened.
He kept running and trying to get something out of his pocket. And like I said, like, you guys, when that clip cuts off, like, we had to run into a store screaming that somebody was going to kill us so that somebody would step in and let us in the back.
Like, what kind of weird ass world do we live in that streamers have to get online and justify this dumbass crime that we've seen with our eyes in 4K? Also, why are we seeing this in 4K? I don't know. The nature of everything being on stream is just...
Yeah, that's low-key fact. Because while this thing is going on, the cameraman is still like, yeah, let's secure this content, you know? You're screaming, you're running, you're still trying to capture her face just in case she does something that's clip-worthy. You see how, you see where we're headed? You see, you guys know this animations like, I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of... They use that song, and it's like this animation, and like, a girl is trying to commit suicide and she's standing on the top of this tall building, and everybody comes and gathers at the ground level, not to discourage her from jumping, not to encourage her to continue living, but to record her. It's like, all right, if you're gonna do it, we're waiting, you know? And then she jumps, and then they go, oh, bam, and then they take pictures, take videos, and then they move on. And at the time, people, you're probably thinking, that's crazy, right? That's where we're headed. If it's not already happening, that's where we're going, bro. Everything is for the internet. It doesn't matter the consequence. It doesn't matter how dire it gets. It's for the internet. It's for the likes, it's for the comments, it's for the views, it's for the shares, it's for the validation. Somehow. Doesn't matter if people are banging and almost dying, they're coming back to do it because that's what their audience demands. It doesn't matter if your life is literally falling apart, you have to show up because your viewers want you to. You're a slave. You see?
Bothering me, and I can understand why these people have burnout, because then they have an audience that doesn't believe them, so then they have to justify them, which kind of backs what Quinn Blackwell was saying a little bit. I see it. I think there are some positives going into 2026 though. I think that we've weeded out a lot of the people that came into the space and really didn't want to do anything positive, just saw it as a quick money grab. A lot of people picked up phones because they saw streaming and content creation as some sort of fad, but ultimately are realizing that, hey, this is something that takes much more effort that I'm willing to put in, and I don't want to slut out the space. Think about every single streamer that was popping or had some clout or had some traction this year that is just not here at the end of the year. Funny Mike. No, he's probably going through some legal stuff. But for real though, there's a lot of people who picked up streaming and have stopped because they're just not getting the views off. I also do think IRL streaming won't be a mainstay going forward. Bruce Dropomoff and Soluminati had some very good words about IRL streaming. It was dumb and people were making it dumb because they were just flexing and trying to keep up with people, and it was never meant to last based off of how these people were doing it.
It's becoming harder and harder for niggas to become streamers because all y'all think y'all need to be doing IRLs. Y'all all trying to be like these niggas at the top. You got motherfuckers talking about desktop streaming is dying. How is that even fucking possible? It's not even possible. It's just the niggas you watching. You knew and you already thinking you need to be doing IRLs, nigga. You are a fucking bot. You're gonna fall off. Bro, the IRL streaming shit is so overstimulated, so oversaturated. All you see is scripts now.
Niggas is tired of seeing niggas just overly showing shit that they don't have that they can't relate to. We can't relate to you niggas no more. We can't. Y'all streaming on yachts and shit. There's a nigga that want to stream from his bathtub to pretend that he on the yacht right now. Listen, bro, you don't gotta do that.
And last but certainly not least, I think that people are getting away from the always on nature of content creation. I've seen more streamers take more breaks. The breaks between marathon streams is becoming greater. The breaks in just streaming in general is becoming greater. I know it may mean some effects to the pockets, but if there's a quality difference and from your content as a whole, from your life as a whole, I think a lot of streamers are gonna get into that now because they're just seeing that I can't always be on. It's really not healthy. And at the end of the day, it doesn't benefit me or my audience to come back on, cut the chat on and be like, hey chat, what we doing today? Because I just need to fill some sort of quota. It's the stupid.
Yeah, low key. There's a difference between consistency and trying to kill yourself, you know? Consistency doesn't mean you have to be there every day. Consistency just means you have to do it and not give up, you know? You just have to keep doing it. Whether you can take 3 days break off it, 1 week, 2 weeks, it doesn't matter if you're just going to come back, you know, just do it when you can afford to, right? Because this is a long game we're playing. This is not a sprint. This is not a 100-meter dash. It's a long ass marathon. You know, you're competing with the rest of the world. Everybody else is trying to do what you're trying to do. You think you doing these bursts of energy is gonna do anything? No, you just have to do it your way, and eventually the right people will find you. Which is why people like Corey Kenshin can afford to just post. I mean, he's big, he's too big, he has money and everything, so he can afford to. But like, you see, when people get to a certain point and they like get a chill, they just post when they can. That's the same thing. I think if we're able to realize that, look, this is if we're serious about this thing, we're going to be doing this for the rest of our lives. This is not the time to like kill yourself over the content because you're trying to get the bag. No, if you die tomorrow, what's it all for? Live. It's even in the moments of rest and creativity where you find bursts of inspiration, where you find, oh, I can actually do it like this, I can actually do it like that. But if you're just so caught up with doing this, oh, I have to, I wake up, I do this, you don't even have time for your brain to even realize that you're going in the wrong direction. And there's an easier way for you to do it, but you don't realize it because you're not even paying attention to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro. That's why I seen Duke. I think Duke went back to the 2K community. He's playing more 2K now, just playing more games, park games. It tells you something, you know? If he found all this success and all this image with women and blah 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 with streaming, why is he going back to the 2K, where 2K is like a smaller community, you know, and it's just mainly dudes who play? Why is he going back there? Because there's a sense of like peace. He just wants to live. He wants to be a real human being, not an image, not a guy put on a pedestal, not a guy who's seen as this god. You know, when in real life he's just another dude walking the streets, bruh. You guys have made him out to be something, poke-nosing into his business. Like, come on. It gets to a point. But if you enjoyed this video, let me know. If you want more stuff like this, like, share, subscribe, drop a comment if you will. Let me know if you see more, if you want to see more videos like this. If you enjoy my perspectives, check out my reflective channel. The link is in my bio, you know, on YouTube, where I get into more detail about the type of things that I see around. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.